Did you see all that Jake Paul shit he was saying this morning?
I saw he was trying to give like $50 million for the fight.
Yeah. Did you hear the stuff he was saying about Conor?
No.
He even called his wife out. He was saying, "What are you doing with her? You can be doing better." I was like, it was kind of a low blow.
Yeah.
Kind of crossing the line, trying to get that Conor McGregor fight.
Yeah, I think it's all publicity. That's all he's trying to do. He's just trying to make his name and everything like that. I think if they fought, he would probably get his shit kicked in. So,
What do you think about the Logan and Floyd Mayweather fight?
I think Mayweather is going to dominate him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
easily. Just because they're professional fighters.
Yeah.
They're fighting against YouTubers and then a basketball player who is like, 10, 15 years older than him.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. From watching that fight, I knew from the first round and like the first couple minutes, the way that Nate Robinson was fighting, like he didn't do anything defensive wise. Like he was just trying to be the aggressor the whole time.
Yeah, he kept running in on him, bugging him.
Once I saw that, I was like, yeah, he's probably gonna lose. And then sure enough, the second round or third round
I didn't see
happened.
the knockout coming.
Oh, you didn't?
The way that the fight had been going at the time before the knockout, I was like, oh, well, this is just going to be a boring fight if he's going to keep hugging.
Oh, yeah. That's
know
what
what I
I
mean?
was thinking at first, too. But then after the punches that I seen that Jake was throwing, I was like, one of them's going to knock him out. And then whenever he went to that corner or whatever, he just came charging out and got him right in the sweet spot. And
It was bad.
next thing you know, there's memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. I kind of felt bad, though, honestly. Like, I was just like, damn.
A lot of people are shitting on the whole idea of this
YouTubers fighting people.
Yeah. I like it. I've said this before, I don't like Jake's personality, who he is. I kind of like Logan. Logan has made mistakes like we all do, but it seems like he's learned from them and he's become a better person. And his Impulsive, you watch that podcast though?
That's the one with Logan, right?
Yeah, with Logan and his buddy, his manager Mike.
I haven't seen too much of it. I just know like they had, I think, Riley Reid on one,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I decided
They
to
have a
stop
couple
by and
porn
check
stars.
that one. Yeah, so I figured I was,
You like the
check
porn
that
star?
No. Well, maybe.
But no, it's actually a pretty good podcast. I like it. I check it out.
Yeah.
But I like the whole, we got a bad guy. He's essentially the bad guy.
Yeah.
Talking all this shit. I want to see him. I'd like to see him get to the top and then just get wrecked,
Who you talking about, Logan?
Jake.
Oh, Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's got it coming if he's trying to fight Conor McGregor.
Any of those guys, you know what I mean?
I don't care how much they train and everything like that. Like, I know he says that he's trying to take it seriously, and maybe he is, and I think the world would be shocked if he ended up. I mean, like, they're going to be boxing, so I know that's not Conor's, forte, but I still feel that there's no way Conor should lose. But if he somehow does lose, I mean, I'm sure they would try to fight in the UFC, and if they fought in the UFC, it'd be.
Do you think that fight actually ever happens?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
There's no way. Because it's just that risk factor of if he does lose, he loses all of his reputation.
Who do you think Jake Paul fights next?
It would have to be, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's wanting to try and fight boxers and everything like that, but
I'd like to see him fight KSI just because since KSI already fought Logan.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they could fight.
Yeah.
They could definitely fight. I could see that happening. I feel like that's more likely than him fighting Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
So
the whole thing's just nuts.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of a little bit. Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Yeah. I just think the whole thing is kind of crazy. A little bit of a low blow talking all that shit about Conor's wife. That'd be kind of. If I was Conor, that one definitely would have got my attention.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're attacking someone, it should always just be with them and not any like family members or
But I guess
kids.
Conor's done it. Conor's done them low blows with talking shit.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's different when it's coming from like a YouTuber and a young kid too.
Did you see what Nate was saying?
I know he said
it was funny.
He's gonna shock the world, and I mean he did shock the world.
He was either tweeting or putting it on Instagram. He was like, "Hey Logan, check your brother before someone else does." And then him and Jake, you didn't see all the shit talking between.
So that must happen whenever I was at BMT.
Yeah, well, I think this was just happened this morning or last night. Was the shit talking between NateDiaz and Jake Paul?
Oh, I thought you meant Nate Robinson.
Yeah. Oh no, my bad.
You're fine.
No.
So NateDiaz.
Yeah,
said
NateDiaz came out talking shit, and then Jake responded, and then Nate went back telling Logan, "Hey, check your fucking brother before someone actually does." I was like, "Ooh, that's gangsta Nate." I love NateDiaz.
Yeah, no, I love him too. I mean, Nate's just trying to, I don't know. I feel like he's trying to warn them in a way, but
Oh, yeah.
also like on the Paul's side, like both of them, any publicity is going to be good publicity for
Okay.
them because it just gets more people to view them, more people to talk about them, and that's all they need in a way. Like that's just what they are. They're influencers, so they need all the views and everything that they can get. So even if they don't fight, and even with all this trash talking, like it's still good for them because look at we're even talking about it. I don't even care about the guy. I don't watch his YouTube videos. I don't watch anything. I know that he was on Vine and everything like that. I watched the boxing thing because, I was hoping that he'd lose, but.
Yeah. You know what's really sad? I pretty much I don't know. I remember reading this article where Logan had made $800,000 against KSI for their boxing match.
Mm-hmm.
That's so much more money than what all the UFC fighters make.
Yeah, I know
It's
kind of
so fucked.
It is kind of weird, and I think I was looking at a tweet that showed like the people that fought in that last match with Mike Tyson and whatnot, like all the fight card, and it seemed like they were getting paid like a couple $1,000s.
Yeah,
It was dirt cheap compared to like what the YouTubers or what are making. So
yeah.
good for them, I guess, but kind of shitty for the people that actually put their blood, sweat, and tears and trying to make it a profession.
Have you heard about the lawsuit going on with UFC right now?
No.
There's a $5 billion lawsuit going out with with fighters from I forget the time period from here and here,
Mm-hmm.
and they're claiming about not getting paid what they should have and stuff. And apparently it could be big. If they either maybe the UFC settles real quick so they have to deal with it. Because Dana White was like, oh, I know nothing about that. It's like when he starts saying stuff like that, I'm like, ooh, I feel like,
He definitely knows what's going on.
a lot.
He just
about
doesn't want to
that.
say anything. Yeah. No, I mean, I could see it. I mean,
give the fighters deserve it.
yeah. I mean, these people.
Some kind of new system needs to be about it.
Yeah.
It's tough.
They should be making a little bit more money, but that's just like the whole thing with like athletes and entertainment. Like you could argue that like baseball players and
there's bench
NBA players.
Bench players make more than a
Yeah.
UFC fighter.
Yeah, no, and I mean like they're literally beating the crap out of each other till they become like a vegetable.
In weight cutting. Weight cutting is so crazy.
Yeah, there goes a lot into fighting and everything like that. It's kind of crazy the things that they have to do just to be able to fight. But I personally believe that they should be paid a little bit more money than what they are making, but it's not up to us. It's up to the contracts that they sign and how big of a fight it is and everything like that. Obviously, like boxing makes a ton of money compared to UFC.
It's insane.
It's almost the same thing.
UFC has to make pretty good money though,
Oh, they definitely make good money.
This year was probably a really good year for them, even with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully one day they take over. Let's go. But we got guys like you. You love your football.
I love football.
You love your football. Are you still a Cowboys fan?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been very rough this season, just like the past 12 or 14 seasons that I've been watching. But
when I did like football, that was my team, so I understand.
Yeah. You all right? You're not dying on me, right?
What up, everybody? We're a little late on this. Episode 14. I'm with my longtime buddy, Nick Mendoza. How we doing?
Doing well. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast so far.
Dude, how'd we meet?
Well, I moved to Missouri about 7-8 years ago and started working at a movie theater down in Fenton.
That was how long ago? So right when you started working at the movie theater is when
it was
you moved
almost
here?
immediately. Basically what happened was I moved from California. We moved to a place in Fenton. It was about a 5-minute drive to the actual movie theater. One day I decided to walk up there and fill out an application, and sure enough, I got a call right away. So that's how I started working there. And then one day I saw you come in. You got a job, and we started becoming friends and hanging out.
Yep.
Having a good time. You always make me laugh and stuff.
Yep. You showed me the way my first day at the theater.
Yeah.
Who'd have known was I manager when you were a manager, or had you
Yeah.
left? We were managers together.
We were managers at one point.
Just a little small time.
Yeah, it was a very small time because I had some stuff that come up, and that's why I had to leave. But yeah, we were managers at one point. But yeah, I remember I did show you the way.
Yeah.
Not burning popcorn or anything like that. But yeah, those are some good times. Yeah, definitely. No,
We had some good
those are
times.
some awesome times. Honestly, I mean, some days I wish I can just go back to it.
Yeah. Free movies. We had a good, and plus when we worked together, we had a good group of people around our age.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah. I mean, that was pretty much the most ideal situation for me when I first moved here because, I mean, most of them I was maybe like a year or two older than them, but, you know, I was able to relate to them and stuff like that. And there was a lot of cool people that worked there and everything like that. So, yeah, no, I think it was, like I said, like there's days that I wish I can go back to it because those were probably the best days that I've had.
What's one of the most fucked up things we ever had to deal with? Were you there when the guy died?
No, there was the guy that died.
Yeah, I didn't know at the time he had died.
I don't mean to laugh about it.
I know.
I apologize,
know.
everyone. It was
horrible, but it was just one of those things. So a guy, they came, got him, and they took him. He was in the bathroom, right? And they just took him out on a gurney, you know?
Oh, you know what? I do think I remember hearing about it, but I wasn't there. I know that for sure, else I would have remembered that.
Oh. It was sad. At the time, we didn't know he was dead or that I think he passed away later at the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the paramedic guy came back one day and he's like, yeah, man, I was here for when that guy died in your guys' bathroom. And I was like, oh, hold on, that guy died? And he was like, oh, yeah, man, he fell forward. There was shit all over your guys' wall. And I was just like, oh, my God. There's been so many times people just shit everywhere working at the theater. Did you ever have to clean one of them up?
No. I got fortunate not to deal with that.
Yeah, oh, my. People shit everywhere.
I was say I know I had one story when I was manager. I forgot what movie it was. It was a big movie though because I remember it was like around December. There was a woman who like I was just walking down to the movie theater or the actual theater. I think it was number 3. I know it was on the far left side. I was walking down there and I just kind of see this woman and her boyfriend coming out. And she was kind of like wobbling all over the place. And I was kind of worried. And then all of a sudden she just drops and she just starts like shaking like crazy. I'm like, what's going on? So I immediately ran over there, you know, was asking her boyfriend, you know, if he knew what was going on. And he said that she was epileptic.
Oh,
so
damn.
Yeah, it was something to do with, I guess, right after the movie was done. I don't know if it was like the credits or whatnot, but, you know, luckily there was actually like a nurse that just walked out. So she was able to take care of her. And then also, you know, I was like grabbing water and just kind of staying there because, you know.
It's actually kind of crazy now that I think about how many times emergency situations happened.
I would say, yeah, it's probably the most I've ever had to deal with any job that I've ever worked in my life.
Was at a movie theater.
Yeah.
In all ages.
Yeah.
Kids, old people, pregnant people.
Yeah.
And it's crazy what movies do to people. You're like, damn, there really needs to be some warnings on some of these. There is. But
some of them.
Some people, yeah. Remember when did you work there for Sausage Party?
I think I did.
People went to that movie thinking there was people taking their kids.
Yes,
to
I remember
Sausage
that
Party
actually.
Because they didn't know it was a rated R. I'm like, how did you not know from the trailer?
I think it was because it was a cartoon, so they thought, you know, maybe it's something like SpongeBob SquarePants, and then you start seeing all the sexual jokes and everything like that, and they're like, what the hell are we watching?
It's rated R. It's rated R, and like, I guess since I'm just a big movie buff, it's just in me to look up the cast, director, and know all that kind of stuff. I can't go into a movie blind and not know anything.
I don't know. I felt like there was times where I went and, I mean, there was numerous amount of people that were just like, what is this movie about? You know, blah, blah, blah. And
all
I'm
the
just
time.
like, did you not watch the trailer for it?
Yeah.
Like, they show it on TV all the time, you know? Like, yeah.
It's interesting. But yeah. So, dude, you joined the military.
Yes, I did. Joined the Air Force.
What made you, when did you just decide, I'm going to do this?
So I'd say the last 2 to 3 years, I've just been contemplating on something that I wanted to do towards a career and just kind of wanted to better myself because I started thinking about life and just realizing that right now I'm not doing anything with it or, you know, I'm not making – I want people to remember me, but obviously in like a good way. And I feel like joining that and kind of like serving in a way that kind of would have boosted my ego. Not saying that, but I just mean like I was just kind of down.
Maybe not your ego, your confidence.
Confidence, yes, exactly. I don't know why I said ego. I just, you know, like I wanted to feel a lot better about myself, and you know, I just thought that was kind of the way to go about it. So I would say the past 2 or 3 years, it just always kind of came up into my mind. I was working job to jobs, you know, and just realizing that they weren't working out for me.
Yeah, because you were working at. How long did you work at the gas station?
I worked at Quick Trip for about 3 to almost 4 years.
Yeah,
So
and those were kind of crazy hours, I bet.
yeah, they were, and I just got too complacent. And that's
Mhm.
a huge word in the military, complacent, not being that way. And that's honestly how I was. I was making decent money, but nothing to, build a future with, unless I kept, promoting myself. But talking to so many friends and people that work there, I'm just like, they're not enjoying their life, like they feel miserable about it. So that's why I never really promoted myself. And for a while, I kind of, I wish I would have, just because I wanted to make more money and, do other stuff. But I didn't want to be tied down, because I know with that job, and Quick Trip's a great company and everything like that, they've taken care of me. I mean, I went on the Hawaii trip and had a blast and everything like that.
Mhm.
I'm not saying anything bad about them. It's just I was so burnt out of customer service.
I like the word you use, complacent.
Yeah, that's a huge word. You
Well,
hear that almost every sentence
dude,
in the military.
and
is
I
don't be
don't,
complacent.
and I don't ever really use that one.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people have this year with COVID have sat back and really seen that, look
Yeah.
back at what they're doing and go, man, because they're realizing a lot of shit.
No, definitely. I mean, at first when COVID was starting up, I was still working and everything, and not really thinking it was that big of a deal. Or I would see people say, "Oh, like, this has just been the worst for me," and I just didn't really put it into their perspective. Like, maybe they lost hours, maybe they lost their job, maybe they're losing family members because of it. So I didn't really think of it that way until later on. But excuse me. But yeah, it's really been pretty huge so far. And I mean, they say they have a vaccine for it. I'm really hoping, that it's good to go and we can finally get out of this. But I'm just not very optimistic that, this is going to go away right away. So I think we got a little bit more time, but I think people have kind of grown accustomed to this situation that we're in. At first, it was, you're being told that you have to wear a mask everywhere. Can't go to certain restaurants. Movie theaters are closing down. Entertainment's closing down. And we're all just kind of stuck in our homes and everything like that. It's been a little miserable, but things are starting to open back up. And, I think it's going to we're going in a right direction.
Our theaters shut down, right?
No.
Yeah, they shut down the Regal theaters again.
Oh, wow. I thought I saw something that was saying that theaters were opening up, but they would do like the limited seating where, you'd have like 6 chairs between a person or something.
Ronnie's and for a while I thought the Arnold 14 Cine, I thought they were closed, but they're open sometimes. And then just recently Jefferson County went down again, and there's no dining, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a nice little dining area too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think it'll be around I'm accustomed to it. Like at the beginning of COVID, I remember putting on the masks and just being so like, oh my God, these are so hot and horrible.
Oh yeah.
This sucks. But now they're nothing. It's like it's
You're just so used to it. It's secondhand now.
Yeah, I don't even think about the masks.
Yeah. Well, I know around the time I was actually moving in with Mo, and like my whole like logic of it, I was like, hey, we're gonna like be able to go out all the time. We're gonna be able to do fun stuff and everything. And then it started really blowing up, and we just started hanging around the house so much and everything like that. And yeah, I don't know. It was very tough to try to adjust to at first,
100%.
but I think now that we've dealt with it for this long, we're all, we're used to it.
I think it's going to be some time, though, because how do you feel? Are you going to take the vaccine right away?
I feel like being part of the military, they're going to probably force it to us because that's what they do.
That's kind of, isn't that kind of, do you think that's right?
Do I think that's right?
I guess it makes sense, right?
No, because I'm the type of person where, I don't really like taking medication. I don't like doing any of that stuff unless I have like a really pounding headache and it's just not going away. Then I'll take a little bit of Tylenol or whatever.
I don't even really like taking Tylenol.
Yeah, but I'm just not one of the people that, I don't know. I just think that my body can fight it off and everything like that. But I don't know. I mean, I think with the vaccine, they're going to want us to take it. And, if that's what we have to do, then that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
But
I keep coming to it. I'm like, Ricky, you put so much worse shit in your body every single day. And here you are worried about a vaccine that's supposed to save you and everything. Yeah. It's just the whole, everyone's scared. because of the unknown.
Yeah.
But
I
even
mean,
my dad and everyone told me about when they were younger and how they had to get all the polio shots and everything. So it's like, it's just one of those.
I will say one of the worst shots I've ever taken. It was a penicillin shot. We call it the peanut butter shot.
The peanut butter. Why do they call it
Yeah,
the peanut butter
'cause
shot?
it's thick.
Oh, it's a thick needle?
No. Well, the needle is pretty big
Uh-huh.
on its own, but the actual like
Juice?
is thick.
Is
It feels
thick.
like peanut butter, and they shove it.
It feels like peanut butter?
Yeah, and they
Oh
they
my.
put it right above your buttocks, pretty much, like
So it
right
just
above your
sits there?
ass.
Does it sit there or does it go through your body?
It's supposed to go through your body, and they said the best way to kind of like make it not sore, because your ass is gonna be sore for a couple days. But they
That's
said pretty
fun.
much you just have to keep massaging it in. And two of the guys in our flight actually like had to go back to we call it Reed, or like the medical place, and like they had to be put on waivers because of how like bad it was. And the people that were giving us the shots, I don't think they knew what they were doing, or they were new at it, because whenever I was getting mine done, the woman who was watching over it said, you need to stick the needle a lot farther in than what you have it in.
Oh my
So
God.
I was just like, oh God, like
Dude, I'm bad with needles.
I don't mind them.
Oh,
I
fuck.
really don't mind needles at all. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people get freaked out about it. I totally understand. But for me, I've never had a problem with it. Like whenever they draw my blood or anything, like we've had people pass out and stuff like that. So I've never been freaked out about them, but everyone was talking about the peanut butter shot before we got it in. And it was rough for the first couple days, but after you kept massaging it out and everything like that, it kind of went away. But we had to do a PT test. So
What's a PT test?
So physical training.
Oh,
How you pass the test is you have to do like, it's all done by age groups. There's like 18 to 30 and then 30 to 40 or something like that, which usually they don't have a lot of 40-year-olds or, like 30-year-olds. But you need to do like a minimum of like 42 push-ups or something like that in a minute.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. It seems kind of, whatever.
Ricky ain't making this one, folks. Sorry.
Hey, I'm telling you, whenever you're actually at BMT or basic, you have a whole lot of time to
get
work
strong.
on that. Yes, exactly. Like, I mean, when you're sitting in your dorm room, you have nothing to do. You don't have your phone or anything like that. You're pretty much busting out push-ups or sit-ups, Excuse me. So we have the push-ups that you have to do 42 in less than a minute. And then you also have the sit-ups. I think that was around 45 in less than a minute. And that was the one that I was scared about the most. But, yeah, so I thought it was legit sit-ups when we first started doing it. Like, you'd actually have to, like, go all the way up. These were more like, what's the other word? Yeah, they were more like crunches. You pretty much just had to put your arms like this, and you just had to touch your thigh.
Yeah.
So the first PT test I took, I did natural like sit-ups or whatnot, and I only busted out like 30. So I'm like, I'm going to fail. Like, they're going to wash me back, and I'm going to have to stay here longer. But then whenever I did this, the other one. Crunches. I don't know why I'm brain
That's
farting.
okay. I just know because we did them a lot in volleyball.
Yeah, so we were doing the crunches, and, I mean, I was able to pass that pretty easily. And then you have your 1.5-mile run. So you pretty much, the track they have is 6 laps you have to do. And I think the pass, you have to run 1.5 miles in 11 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that. But they're talking about changing the actual PT test qualifications. So I think it's going to be like 13 minutes and 30 seconds now, or at least for us now that we're operational. We're not in training anymore. But the run, I'm not going to lie, at first I ran like a 12 something, and I was like, oh man, I really need to work on it. But then like as we kept doing PT every week and stuff like that, because we had the actual test, we had 3 of them, and the last one was the actual one to qualify and whatnot. But I just started knowing I noticed I kept improving and improving, so I felt a lot better about myself. And like going into basic, I just wanted to do the bare minimum. I just wanted to do the 42 push-ups or the 38 or 42 sit-ups. Like, that's all I wanted to do. But as we kept going on, I kept pushing myself, and then that's when I got a lot better. And I'd have to thank a lot of people in my flight, because we were the top PT flight and then like the top academic flight, and we all just kind of pushed each other, and that's what kind of helped me kind of do better.
That camaraderie.
Yeah, I mean, we were all like motivating each other and everything like that. And like every time we did a PT test or whatever, they would have like the results and everything. And like we're always asking the sergeant, we're like, are we the top flight? Are we the top flight? And I think for the most part, because they kept telling us we were like either number 1 or number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were just telling us number 2 to kind of push us a little bit harder.
Wow.
But, I mean, we ended up finishing number 1. So, yeah, that felt good when we heard about that. And then we had the academic, which at the beginning of basic, you get a huge study guide. It's probably about 400 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got, like, Air Force history. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in there. And at the end of the basic, you have to take a 100-question test.
Ooh.
And you got to pass that. You got to pass with at least 70 correct.
How many attempts you get?
How many what?
How many attempts you get?
You only get, I think you get 2.
So 2, and then you're out.
You get washback. So
What's-
the word washback pretty much means you're gonna get washback like a week, or you got to do another week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the end of the world, but no one wants to be stuck at basic because you don't have a phone.
Mm-hmm.
You pretty much really don't have any freedoms.
How long does basic last for?
It's 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Yeah. So the first
Did
2
it feel like
weeks.
forever?
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it felt like forever. I mean,
What are the kind of like just
it's just crazy
grueling
because.
scheduling?
It's not even the scheduling. It's more of just the fact that you've grown so accustomed to having a phone with you. You're able, like, if you have a vehicle, you could drive somewhere. If you, you know, you could see friends and everything like that. And then you're pretty much just put in a dormitory with just a single bed and a single locker, and that's all you have.
Damn.
And you're just like, ah.
It's
And
boarding
like
school.
every week we would get like a 5-minute phone call, or maybe sometimes even longer. So every time I called my dad.
Man, you're almost in jail.
Pretty much, yeah. That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
But I remember after like the first 5-minute phone call that I had, like I ended up crying. I'm not gonna lie. Like I cried
it's okay.
because I was like, man, I just don't know like how I feel about this and everything like that. Like I'm missing my family and everything. And
It was kind of taking a toll on you and everything.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Like for the first couple weeks, I wouldn't say it was hard to adjust to just because I've been on my own before and everything like that. It's just like I'm so used to seeing my family, you know, every couple days or whatever, or sometimes every day, and not being able to see them. Like I didn't have a picture of them at first or anything like that. But whenever I got done with my first phone call, I gave them the address, and they're able to like send you letters and stuff. So after that week, my dad sent me a picture of him, you know, the kids or my little brothers and sisters. And like every night I would pretty much look at it. That's what kind of like kept motivating me to keep like pushing forward with it and everything like that. So
That's good, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
You probably learned a lot about yourself.
in a way, yeah. I
went
think
through
there's still a lot more to learn, but I was much happier. I felt like this is what I kind of needed in a way, just because like back here before then, I just felt like I was maybe a little too out of control sometimes.
Just partying too much.
Yeah. I think, you know, just partying and just thinking that's all life was.
Yeah.
And I just started realizing that's not what all life is, just having a good time and everything. You know, you're going to have your bad times and your times where you got to be serious. So I started realizing that and everything, and that's why I chose this path, because I wanted to be able to try and work on controlling that in a way.
What made you pick the Air Force out of all the
So
military?
originally I was going to go Marine Corps.
Oh, you were going to go to the Marines?
Yes.
What
Actually,
made you back out?
So what happened was back when I was like 18, I was still living in California, and I told my dad, I was like, hey, I'm thinking about joining the Marines because my friend's joining and blah, blah, blah. And he was just telling me it's a horrible idea. Don't do it. You know, you don't want to be a part of the military and blah, blah, blah. And so I didn't at that time. Then when I started thinking about it again, like the last 2 years or so, I was just like, man, the Marines just sound badass. Like when you think about like the military, like that's just who you think. And I talked to several friends. I mean, my friend back home who I was going to go with, and then also like Jeff, I talked to him about it. And they're like, you should just join the Air Force. Like, they're not talking bad about me, but with my age and everything like that, I mean, I didn't realize how much they push Marines. Whenever I joined, that's when I started realizing, like, you're pretty much doing push-ups all day, every day, and everything like that. And I'm not the best at doing them, but, you know, if I have to do them, I'll do them. So I think that's what I went with, or that's why I went with it, because I had other people kind of let me know what the Air Force was and everything like that. They take care of you a little bit better than most of the other branches. And it's not to talk bad about the other ones. It's just, you know,
Have they thrown you out of a plane yet?
Not yet, no.
Are you
I don't think they're
going
going to do that.
Really?
No. There's a specific job that they'll do that. It's called PJ.
What's a PJ?
They're pararescue. So,
okay.
say like an aircraft goes down or they're in like a hostile zone, like, I don't know, like Iraq or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a medic who literally jumps out of an airplane with a parachute and saves them. So, yeah. I probably won't be jumping out of any planes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering. I'm like, I thought
I'd be scared. That's
yeah.
okay. So how you're saying you're afraid of needles? I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah, I'm afraid of heights too.
Yeah. So
Being a tall guy, it's weird. I know.
yeah, because whenever you go through the military, you have to go to MEPS, which is basically to like get you tested and everything to make sure you're actually even qualified to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a vision test on me. They said that my vision wasn't good, which I already know, but they were saying that it was pretty bad. So, excuse me. Where's that going? So I ended up getting sent to optometrist. Everything was fine. And I come back and they're like, well, you're not going to be flying any jets or anything like that. And I'm like, I'm perfectly fine with that. I do not want to fly any like $1 million aircrafts or anything like that. And
that'd be fucking crazy, dude.
yeah, last thing I want is me freaking crashing that thing, hitting the eject button and just being like, I'm so screwed.
That's a lot of response.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine.
Well, so the thing with flying aircrafts and stuff like that, you have to be like an actual officer or whatnot, like pretty high up. So there's two different ranks in a way with the military. So you have your enlisted, who is pretty much me. So it goes from E1 to E10. And then after that, you go to officers. And the officers are like the big wigs, and everything like that.
What E are you right now?
I'm E1, so I'm like right at the bottom of the barrel. If I would have signed a 6-year contract, I could have jumped to E3 right away after tech school.
What'd you sign?
I signed a 4-year contract.
A 4-year?
I was just nervous that if I did not like the military or I didn't like what I was doing, I wouldn't have to be stuck there. So that's why I didn't go with the 6-year. I kind of wish I would have, went with the E6.
Resign.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's extensions where you could do like 2 years instead of signing for like another 4 years or whatever. But it was just mainly to get that extra pay grade because, I mean, the money is, I think it's like an extra like couple $100 of a boost.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's what's up.
And also you get like the cool little patch and the stripes and everything like that. So that would have been pretty cool. But yeah, so pretty much from E1 to E4, those are going to be like people like me. And then once you get to like E5 and on, those are going to be like your sergeants and everything like that. So they're like a lot bigger than us and everything.
So wow. So when you just went in the beginning of this year then, right?
It started July.
July? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
July. So you just got your stuff done.
Yeah,
training.
Pretty much. So with my job, I'm security forces. They basically deal with like law enforcement, guarding the gates for the actual base, stuff like that. You can do K9 unit, stuff like that.
What do you got? So when you're guarding the base, you got all day. You got to stay in one spot.
Yep.
Stand.
You stand in one little post,
Uh-huh.
and then you got like a little card reader, and they have the military, like they're called common access cards, and you'd have to scan them. And if they show up green, they go in. If they show up red, then we need to do like a little like background check on them. Like we'll have them pulled to the side or whatnot. And
have you had any reds?
Questions. I haven't done it yet.
Oh, you haven't done it
yet?
Yeah,
no. We did like little training for it, but I haven't actually stand at a gate. And
so you're here for family right now, and then you're going back. And is that when you're kind of really starting your?
Yes. Around that time when I was signing up, I was just wanting to get out of here, and I was just wanting to start this thing right away. COVID kind of ruined everything, obviously, like it has.
I know, that's what I was going to get into. Like, not only are you going through all this, but you're also doing it while COVID's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just how it is right now with everybody. We've got masks that we got to wear and everything like that.
Are they even like crazier about it? Have you had to get a lot of testing done?
We've had 2 tests so far. So like the I take that back. The second or third week of basic, that's when we got tested. And I just remember we showed up to the tents and we're all freaking out because we're like, oh, we're getting tested. We've never done it before. And I knew that they stuck something up your nose. I just didn't know what it was and, whatnot. So the first time I had it done, it was super smooth. I didn't feel any pain or anything like everyone else was saying. Yeah, they went straight up my nose and everything, And I was like, man, that wasn't that bad at all. And then the second time that I went, I had some dude who just crammed it up there and
Oh,
just started
fuck.
just going like this with it, and
Uh-huh.
I'm like trying not to cry or
It's
anything like that.
scrambling your brain.
Pretty much, yeah. I think I
Fuck.
lost a little bit of brain cells from that. but-
Fuck.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was pretty rough. I was like, okay, I know why you guys are complaining now about how bad that sucks. Because the first one, it was
Yeah.
just super. It was some nice woman who was just going in there gently, you know,
Yeah.
petting my hair.
She might not
and
have done it
everything
right.
like that. Oh yeah, it
The
could have
guy
been
the
that.
second time was doing it right.
Yeah, but no, I mean, COVID's still pretty big there, and I mean, they wouldn't let us go off a base or anything like that. The only
Mhm.
people that were allowed to go off base were the sergeants who were teaching us and everything like that. So
Where was your base located at? Was it in Texas?
Yes, so we were in
It-
Lackland Air Force Base, which is a joint base. So there's Marines, there's Navy.
Is there murder there, like that other base? Do
There
you know
can be.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I remember it was something to do with the Army. Some
Yeah.
woman or whatnot.
And
she
then-
got
then,
murdered by her boyfriend or something like that.
And then there was like another murder sometime after that, not too long
Yeah,
after.
that's like a huge thing they're stressing right now. Actually, suicide is like the #1 killer of the military or
Really?
even the Air Force.
While they're at base,
It could be while they're at base, while they're off base, while
'Cause
they're
I know-
away.
I know, like, PTSD and all that kind of stuff is really hard.
It's not even mostly that. I mean, it is, but also it could just be, someone who's been married with someone and they divorce and, they just can't handle it or they don't want to be there anymore because of it, because you signed that contract and you're stuck there. I don't mean to say it in a bad way, but
Yeah.
that's just how it is. You don't have any choice to back out.
Yeah.
I mean, the Air Force is really lenient. Like if you go through a tough situation or anything like that, they will, take care of you and everything. They're not just, you're stuck here and you can't do anything about it or you can't seek help or anything, but,
Mm-hmm.
you have a job to do. So that's just how it is.
I've heard of a lot of stories. Now, I have a lot of friends in the military, and they have really good marriages. They've been married to people they loved for a long time. So I'm not like throwing shade at military people, but I've also heard of a lot of stories where people just get married because it would help them financially.
Yes, I mean
And
they have the BAH and everything like that. So
But-
when you get married, you can make a little bit
Yeah,
more
but
money.
that's not real smart because then when they get divorced, it's just hell. You
yeah.
know,
Oh, that's why a lot of people do that, and that's why
that's
like
kind of fucked.
the #1 thing they tell people not to do whenever they get out of tech school. So like in my situation, going to operational.
Don't get married.
It's not that. It's more that, and then also like don't go out and buy a Hellcat. Don't go out and buy a $80,000 car
Yeah,
and
be
regret it.
responsible.
Yeah. So I mean, they warn you about stuff like that, but also like with the marriage thing, like there's a lot of people that get married right
'Cause you
away.
get good
and
benefits.
yeah, you do get
get
great.
some
You
damn
get
good
great
benefits.
benefits, and I've been also warned like when you go to certain bases and say
Mhm.
you go out to the bars or whatnot. I know obviously not now, but before then, there are like some women or some people that will like just go to bars and try to find military members so they can try and marry them to get those benefits. I'm sure it's the other way around as well.
Yeah.
But
Definitely can't be one-sided here.
yeah. But no, I mean, I totally understand it. I mean, you get full benefit, like health benefits and everything
Right.
like that. Like,
Why not?
it's not a bad idea.
Bump into a girl. Hey, you want to get married? We can make some money.
That's what happens because you get that BAH,
Yeah.
and once you find a house, the government or apartment, the government will give you money depending on where you live, and
Oh.
they'll give you a certain amount.
Oh,
So-
we'll get even more money if we have kids?
Yeah.
Shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then a year later, you got a kid and going, fuck, what have I done? The money's spent.
Yeah.
No,
Oh
I'm
no,
just kidding, I'm just
that
kidding.
money probably goes by quick.
Dude. I was just joking.
But no, you're fine. I
Yeah.
mean, I totally understand. That's what that's probably one of the main problems too. Is a lot of people get married when they shouldn't be getting married, but they just look at the money.
Oh.
I contemplated it. I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those people that contemplated it,
Oh.
but I found someone, and I think I do like her a lot. And
Well, congratulations for you,
Yeah.
brother. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Makes me happy. What's her name?
Her
Can you give her a
name's-
little shout out?
her name's Catherine.
Catherine.
Yeah.
That's a pretty name.
Yeah, and I love her a lot.
Oh, is that my mother? I'll edit that out. It's no worries. So what's your plan? So how long do you see yourself being in the military?
That's the tough thing right now. So
Just kind of seeing how it goes?
yeah, so during basic, I was like, I'm totally gonna do this for 20 years. Like,
Uh-huh.
this is what I want. It's just stability and just like I felt really great about myself. And then even when I went to tech school, because then I started getting more freedoms. I was able to get my phone back whenever I wanted to, and I can talk to people.
It's kind of crazy to take your phones, but I guess it's...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they just don't want you videotaping stupid crap in there or anything like that.
That makes sense.
We actually had a story come out. It was like a couple years ago, but so everyone gets a guidon, which a guidon is like the flag carrier or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one story where it was like right before graduation or right after.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
There was one story where basically there was a team that ended up stealing a guidon from an office, and someone had their phone with them as well, and they decided to take like a naked picture with the guidon, and they posted it online. And whenever like sergeants and stuff like that found out about it, they pulled them back from tech school or operational bases and made them come back and actually do BMT again.
Damn.
Yeah, so they're pretty strict on their stuff.
Yeah, I guess they don't want no military people starting some OnlyFans shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you keep it secret in a way, I guess you could. But the way that they always talk to us about it is every one of us are ambassadors of the Air Force. So,
yeah, you represent.
Yeah,
you represent.
So, I mean, say I drive drunk and I completely smash a car, and then out in the newspaper, oh, this airman, Mendoza... You got a DUI and
jail
killed
for the rest
someone.
of your life, you piece of shit.
And then that's just negative publicity for the Air Force. So that's what they don't want that kind of stuff there.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. I mean,
100%.
Yeah.
It's just cool, man, seeing you go through all that. And it's real positive energy, seeing you transform into being something better.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I feel like I've grown up, or actually have kind of taken that next step of actually growing up a little bit. I mean, even during tech school, BMT and stuff like that, I had those moments where I was just messing around and stuff. But I feel like with life, you can't always be serious,
Yeah.
Like you got to be able to joke around a little bit. I just feel like if you're being too serious, you're just going to be miserable in a way. So that's why I kind of like to joke around and stuff like that. I like to be playful, not just be so uptight about everything.
100%. Uptight people suck ass.
Sometimes you need them, though.
They're needed, yeah. You always need that bring back focus.
Yeah.
But to be over extreme about it, it's like, damn, I want to smack the fuck out of them.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in the military like that.
I know, like,
it's rough. Like, I mean, you slip up once and they're ready to tell on you and stuff like that.
Are there tough guys? Are they tough? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some that are like that. Most of the tough guys, though, they're pretty like cool about it. Like, they'll call you out on stuff, but they're not gonna start a fight or anything like that. It's just more of the like I was saying, like ROTC and stuff like that. Like they live and die by it, and I don't blame them. Like it's not a bad thing on them. It's just I'm more of like I'm used to kind of getting away with little things and stuff like that. I'm not saying that I'm doing a bunch of bad stuff, but say I forget something, like, because whenever you're in your OCP uniform, like the jacket, pants, and everything. But I was saying with the OCPs and everything like that, whenever you're walking outside, you have to have a cover on or like a hat or whatnot. And there was one time where I woke up like super early in the morning, just like forgot to put it on. I was taking out trash, and like I get stopped by someone, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm just taking out the trash." Like I honestly swear to God, I forgot that I didn't have my hat on. And sometimes you just forget about it, or you're just so used to having it on and off that, you don't even really think about it. And he just started going off on me, and I was just like, "Man, like relax. It's just a cover, like we're on the base, we're right by the dorms. Like, it shouldn't be that big of a deal." But yeah, you have people like that, and I wish they wouldn't take things too seriously like that.
Yeah.
But
what do they like off the job? That's a question.
Same way.
Same way.
Yeah, same way.
Yeah, you're right. You got to be able to relax.
Yeah.
Just chill.
Coast. Like you could just easily been like, "Hey man, I saw you didn't have your cover on. Maybe you want to grab that." Yeah. But he was just going off. He was like, "What did the Air Force teach you?" and blah blah blah, and just kind of like going off about everything. And I was just like, "Man, just chill out, bro. I'm just dumping out the trash. Like, relax."
Yeah. Damn.
We got any other questions or anything?
Well, we're probably gonna have to end it here.
Yeah.
But it's just been cool talking to you, man, about it and learning some stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I wish we had more time to, talk about stuff. But I'm sure in the future we'll have something where we can talk about it a little bit more.
When do you think the next time you'll even be back in Missouri?
That's a good question. Hopefully in the next 6 months.
Next 6 months?
Yeah.
We can plan something, man.
Yeah.
Anytime you come in, you got some time, you're always welcome on the pod, brother.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm happy to hear you got a girl and that you're figuring life out and you got a path.
Yeah.
It's really important for people, like, take a leap. Because, I'm sure you had those times where you were afraid to do this.
I had a lot of down times in my life, and, I just kept trying to think about the positives, and that's sometimes all you can do.
Exactly.
Because if you don't, you just get stuck in this hole, and
Repeating.
it's hard to get out of that hole. But once you just start thinking about the things that you're grateful for and everything like that, you're able to better yourself. And sometimes I lack confidence and everything like that. So this whole Air Force thing has really kind of boosted it up in a way, just making me feel better about myself. So that's kind of the main thing.
Well, that's lit.
Yeah.
That's litty, motherfucking titty. This was fun, man.
I like that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it so far.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know in the comments. If you're like Nick, you didn't know what you're doing in life and you found this inspiring, go do what you're thinking about doing. Go do it right now. Like me in this pod. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm doing it. Nick knows what he's doing. I know what I'm doing. We're doing it. We're out. Deuces.
Deuces.